perilous escalation has unfolded in northern Israel, marked by a fresh wave of ballistic missile attacks from Iran, raising alarms over the intensifying threat on this volatile battlefield. Recent reports indicate that a series of Iranian missile strikes have targeted the Haifa area, leaving behind several cluster munition impact sites. These munitions, notorious for scattering bomblets over wide areas, have caused significant damage to infrastructure, including roads and vehicles. Thankfully, no immediate casualties have been reported from these specific impact sites. However, elsewhere in the region, the situation has not been entirely without harm. In a separate incident near Haifa, a 79-year-old man sustained light injuries in Kiryat Ata. According to emergency services, the man was wounded by debris dislodged by the shockwave of a blast when a cluster munition struck a residential area. Israel's Magen David Adom confirmed that the debris, primarily stones, caused the injury. Israeli military assessments have confirmed that the missiles used by Iran were equipped with cluster bomb warheads designed to disperse multiple smaller explosives over a vast area, thereby amplifying the destructive capacity of the attack. The latest missile strike follows a brief respite of nearly 8 hours before Iran resumed its offensive with a fresh ballistic missile attack aimed at northern Israel. Earlier, overnight, another Iranian missile carrying a similar cluster warhead had dispersed bomblets across central Israel, causing further damage and intensifying the missile threat in the region. Meanwhile, Israel is bracing for a significant shift in its military strategy concerning Lebanon. The Israeli military is reportedly drafting plans to establish a so-called security zone within southern Lebanon as discussions continue regarding the feasibility of disarming Hezbollah. A senior military official had previously suggested that fully disarming the group amidst the current offensive might be unrealistic. However, the Israeli Defense Forces, IDF, have clarified their stance, emphasizing their long-term goal to disarm Hezbollah incrementally over time. As cluster munitions become more prevalent on the battlefield, missile attacks broaden in scope, and ground operations intensify, the conflict appears to be escalating rapidly. This raises concerns about a broader and potentially more destructive phase of warfare across the region. In a related development, questions have been raised about Iran's strategic use of its ballistic missile arsenal against major adversaries, namely the United States and Israel. A recent report by CNN citing U.S. intelligence assessments reveals that despite ongoing U.S. and Israeli strikes targeting military assets over the past 5 weeks, Iran retains a substantial portion of its missile launchers and attack drones. According to a U.S. intelligence official, about 50% of Iran's missile launchers remain operational, and thousands of one-way attack drones are still part of Iran's military arsenal. The official stated that the Iranian military is still capable of causing significant disruption across the region, saying, as we have stated, we declare to the American Zionist enemies that your information about our military capabilities, power, and equipment is incomplete. You know nothing of our vast and strategic capabilities. The Iranian military's message underscores the limitations of U.S. and Israeli intelligence regarding Iran's military infrastructure. The statement continued, do not hope that you have destroyed our strategic missile production sites, long-range offensive drones, modern air defense and electronic warfare systems, or special equipment. The U.S. intelligence assessment further highlights that a considerable proportion of Iran's coastal defense cruise missiles remain intact, consistent with reports that Washington has not prioritized targeting coastal military assets, though they have engaged with maritime threats. This nuanced intelligence picture contrasts with earlier, more sweeping public assessments of Iran's military capabilities. The evolving situation is a stark reminder of the complex and precarious geopolitical dynamics at play. While the world's attention may be drawn to other global events, the situation in the Middle East remains a critical focal point of international concern. The potential for further escalation poses significant risks, not only to the immediate region, but also to broader global stability. As the conflict unfolds, Iran's strategic military posture and Israel's defensive and offensive maneuvers will continue to be closely scrutinized. The international community, particularly stakeholders with vested interests in the region's stability, will be watching developments keenly, acutely aware of the potential ramifications of this escalating conflict. The unfolding situation underscores the necessity for diplomatic engagement, and strategic foresight to mitigate further escalation and seek pathways toward a sustainable resolution of hostilities. In the unfolding crisis in northern Israel, a new chapter of escalating tensions has been written with Iran's latest missile attacks. This surge in aggression has intensified the already volatile situation on the battlefield. As Iranian forces launched a fresh wave of ballistic missile strikes targeting the Haifa region, this latest development has sparked new concerns over the increasing threat level as the use of cluster munitions continues to wreak havoc on infrastructure and public safety. Recent reports have confirmed several impact sites in the Haifa area where cluster munitions have scattered dangerous bomblets over extensive zones. This has resulted in significant damage to roads and vehicles, though remarkably, there have been no immediate reports of casualties in these specific areas. However, in a separate and worrying incident near Haifa, a 79-year-old D-man was injured in Kiryat Atta. Emergency services have reported that the man suffered light injuries from debris dislodged by the shockwave of a blast when a cluster munition struck a residential area. Israel's emergency medical service, Magen David Adom, verified that the injury was caused by flying stones, emphasizing the widespread and indiscriminate nature of these attacks. The Israeli military has assessed that the missiles deployed by Iran were equipped with cluster bomb warheads. These warheads are notorious for their ability to disperse multiple smaller explosives over a large area, significantly increasing the destructive potential of each strike. This escalation follows a brief lull of approximately 8 hours before Iran resumed its offensive with new ballistic missile attacks targeting northern Israel. Earlier, another Iranian missile with a similar cluster warhead scattered bomblets across central Israel, exacerbating the missile threat and causing further damage. As the missile threat intensifies, Israel is also preparing for a major shift in its military strategy regarding Lebanon. The Israeli military is reportedly drafting plans to establish a security zone within southern Lebanon. This move is part of ongoing discussions about the feasibility of disarming Hezbollah, a militant group with significant influence in the region. A senior Israeli military official previously suggested that fully disarming Hezbollah amidst the current conflict might be unrealistic. However, the official stance has been clarified, with the Israeli Defense Forces, IDF, reaffirming their long-term objective to disarm Hezbollah over time. The introduction of cluster munitions into the conflict, coupled with expanding missile attacks and planned ground operations, signals a rapid escalation that raises fears of a broader and more destructive phase of war in the region. This situation has drawn attention to Iran's missile capabilities and their potential underutilize it. Eye on against the United States and Israel. According to a recent CNN report, U.S. intelligence has revealed that approximately 50% of Iran's missile launchers remain intact, and thousands of one-way attack drones are still part of Iran's arsenal, despite ongoing U.S. and Israeli strikes against military targets over the past 5 weeks. A U.S. intelligence official stated the Iranian military is still very capable of wreaking absolute havoc across the entire region. The official went on to highlight that thousands of Iranian drones remain intact, indicating a significant unresolved threat. In response, an Iranian military spokesperson issued a bold statement directed at the United States and Israel. As we have stated, we declare to the American Zionist enemies that your information about our military capabilities, power, and equipment is incomplete. You know nothing of our vast and strategic capabilities, the spokesperson declared, emphasizing Iran's continued strategic strength. The intelligence assessment also highlighted that a large percentage of Iran's coastal defense cruise missiles remain intact. This is consistent with the fact that Washington, D.C. has not focused its air campaign on coastal military assets, although there have been strikes on ships. This nuanced picture of the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps contrasts with the more sweeping assessments of military dominance offered by former U.S. President Donald Trump. This escalation underscores the complexity and volatility of the situation, with each side attempting to leverage its strategic advantages. As the conflict deepens, the potential for a wider regional war looms large, with significant implications for geopolitical stability and security across the Middle East. In this rapidly evolving landscape, the role of international diplomacy and potential interventions will be crucial in shaping the future course of events. The stakes are high, and the world watches closely as the situation unfolds, hoping for a resolution that can prevent further bloodshed and destruction. In Part 2, we will delve deeper into the strategic implications of these developments, exploring the broader geopolitical landscape and the potential paths forward for all parties involved. We will also examine the humanitarian impact of the conflict and the efforts being made to mitigate the suffering of those caught in the crossfire.